Hi there, Massy here, coach, author and strategist, and welcome to this month's Tips, Tools and Strategy, which just happens to be at the start of 2026. So before we get started, Happy New Year. I hope you got off to a great start. I hope you had some great family time and hope that all navigated well for you. So welcome to this new year. One thing about the new year is it's a great marker. I'm not so much about New Year's resolutions, but it's a good time to take a check at where you really are at. And one of the things that I always ask myself lots of questions, and I want to give myself feedback on where I'm at so I can truly understand where I'm at before I start planning where I want to get to. So if you want to, I'll put down below a link to download a questionnaire that's quite comprehensive that I get all my new clients to look at, which gives you a sense of what got you to where you are, sort of what drives you, what dialogue in your inner mind actually drives you to where you're going. And I want to talk about that's going to be the tip, tool, and strategy today. It's about, again, working on what this inner landscape is. And if it could be anything for this year, it's about, reforming the story. Let me first ask you a question, pretty simple question. Do you prefer to win or lose? In whatever it is, in life, in games, in whatever, do you prefer to win or do you prefer to lose? And I think I can pretty confidently say most of us, without being arrogant about it or anything like that, would actually prefer to win most of the time. And I'm a big fan of that. And that's been my life's work, is trying to understand what are the things that we can do differently that have the greatest impact. I want to win in life in most of the things I do. So therefore, I want to strategically understand what are the things I can do and not do that are going to get me to where I want to be. So that's, one of the things to understand is what is it driving inside here? If I want to win, I choose certain things to do. I also want to understand whether my subconscious mind is taking me in the same direction. And this is the point of this tip, tool, and strategy. That's the point of this year is, do we need to rewrite the story in order to have a different outcome? And one of the things I was just reading recently, I was looking at Roger Bannister, who broke the 4-minute mile back in May of 1954. And for the previous sort of 90 to 100 years before that, people had come close to that 4-minute mile, and they sort of had this belief that the 4-minute mile couldn't be broken by the human physiology. It was just a barrier to the possibility. But Roger Bannister broke that. 6th of May 1954, and he ran it in 3 minutes 59 seconds and point 4. I'm just looking at my notes here to make sure I give him due credit. But the bizarre thing was, it was only 46 days later that John Landy, an Australian guy, broke it 3 minutes, what do we got here? 57.9 seconds. So for 90, 100 years, the belief was we can't physiologically break this 4-minute mile. It's just a human thing. Someone breaks it, possibility. Other people start changing their belief about possibility, and suddenly 46 days later you got someone else breaking that thing that hadn't been broken for 90 to 100 years. I mean, that's just bizarre. And by this time in life, I saw a statistic. It said almost 1,800 people have broken the 4-minute mile, by, 2022, I think the statistics were. I even know a person, a friend of mine, broke the 4-minute mile. So it's actually more commonplace now. But it started with a breaking of belief into what is possible. And that's what I want to, set as the marker for 2026 is the possibility. Changing things around, being the impossible to the possible, making, and this is a great Joe Dispenza quote, making the uncommon common. So part of the work that I'm going to do to help you achieve this idea of changing stories is I'm running a workshop at 7th of February we're going to kick off. And it's all about overcoming self-imposed limitations, changing your beliefs. Now, I've set this workshop up so there's, low entry point. I've got choose your price, minimum $5. I'm doing a bit of charity raising, so I want you to put a few bucks in as a minimum so I can send that off to Bali Street Mums. But check out the details down below about the workshop, because I think it's one of the most powerful things I teach as a coach. It is the key thing I do when I'm coaching, is I try to understand what's someone's story, because someone's story determines the outcome in life. And that's right down to the genetic expression as well. Epigenetics says, based on our thinking, based on our emotions, based on our behaviors, it turns on different genes and turns off other genes. So, what's going on inside here has a physiological effect right down to a biological level as well. So I really need to understand that. So let this be the year about understanding what is going on inside of your head, and is that taking you in a forward direction, or is that holding you back? So do join me on this quest for this year of changing your story. If there's something not working in your life, try and understand what the story is underneath it, behind it, and tangled with it that might be holding you back. Are you believing, like everyone believed, the 4-minute mile can't be broken, but as soon as someone does it, it's like, oh, it's actually possible. And suddenly all these people cross the line in under 4 minutes. Crazy to imagine. So that's what I want to leave you with. If you haven't read any of my books, check out my books. This is what the workshop is going to be based on, The Successful Mind. And this book is a small book, but goes into a great depth as to the impact on our beliefs and how to change those beliefs. So do check that out. Do come on this journey with me over 2026, where we look at the stories we're telling ourselves. We're updating our stories to make sure we're telling stories that help us to win in life, and the ones that make us lose, we throw into the recycle bin. So I hope you're having a fantastic day. I hope you're having a great start to the new year, wherever you are on this gorgeous, incredible, amazing planet of ours. All the very best, and take care.